Hello and welcome to a video covering Healthy Camp, Happy Camp, part of the Stage 5 Camp Skills Builder, which covers both the Ranger and the Guide section. The Stage 5 Skills Builder is really recommended for older guides and rangers who have good experience of going to camp, preferably long camps and traditional camps, where you've been doing the cooking and have done some gadget making before to help you work through this stage. So what we're looking at really with this is how to store things safely and how to maintain good hygiene processes and how to keep the environment where you're camping safe and clean. So some of the suggested items would be things that you might find if you're an experienced camper at camp. So you might have some pegs. You never know when they can come in useful. Normally in one of the camp stores you'll have some rope and you'll probably have some string as well. Other useful things to make what we call gadgets at camp, to make useful items to help us store things safely, are wooden poles or canes. I've also got a cloth bag here, a washing up bowl, I've got some sellotape, I've got a storage box with a lid, obviously that could be of any size. I've also got a stapler, I've got a pencil case with scissors and things in, and I've also got a notepad. All of these things could help you complete this activity that you're going to do for this. So, why are we doing this? Why do we think it's important to store things safely? Well, obviously, if you're going for a long time at camp, it's not like being in a house where you've got a fridge or a freezer or a safe environment to store things, cupboards with doors. You're going to be out, could be in an open field or on a campsite, and you've got to use your initiative to keep things cool or safe or enclosed. So I just did myself a few questions here. How can you look after food, water and the environment when you're at camp? Well, obviously the elements play a big part. We've had quite a hot summer this year, so the weather, it might be very hot or it could be very wet. Some foodstuffs won't keep very well if it gets hot, like milk or cheese, and bread doesn't keep very well if it gets damp. So you've got to think about that when you're storing. The environment, if you're out in an open field, you may not have very much shade to keep things cool. Have you got trees nearby or watercourses, streams? Have you got any other shelter like tents or buildings nearby? And I've put here potential threats. Well, I've been camping before and I've had foxes get into store tents and even sleeping tents. Squirrels are a pain, and both foxes and squirrels can climb and jump quite high. So you need to be thinking about that if you're going to be storing food that's not in a tin. And things like flies and wasps as well. So with this activity, it's asking you to, on the thing to actually to do it as a patrol or a group, but because we're doing this digitally, I'd like you to do this individually to choose a challenge for storing something or keeping something hygienically clean at camp. And some of the ideas that they've given here is build something to keep food cold without electricity, create an animal-proof rubbish bin in 3 minutes, or find a way of storing food off the ground. So you can choose any of those ideas or make up something of your own. If you're an experienced camper and you've helped in a kitchen before, you'll know how difficult it is to store things. So I'm sure there might be something you could come up with as a useful gadget based on what you've already seen at camp. So when you're thinking about what you're going to design, you've got to keep fresh food away from animals, store food off the ground where you can. Don't let waste into the environment or harm it, so you're not supposed to pour wastewater near a stream or anything like that from natural water sources. Recycle rubbish where you can. Store any water you collect in a closed container, and make sure there's somewhere hygienic to clean your hands. That's very relevant at the moment. So to give you an idea of the sort of thing we're looking for, I thought to myself, what do I think is very important at camp? Having been QM before and bearing in mind the situation with the pandemic at the moment, I decided to work on the importance of hand hygiene. So what can I make? A camp gadget for washing my hands and other people's hands. I've then drawn an example and equipment needed that I probably would have at camp. So as you can see there, I've drawn a tripod, and most of you that will have been to camp will have made a tripod. So I'm hoping you're going to come up with something different. I've just used an easy example that I could draw and make obvious to you on the screen. So I've used some string, which we always have at camp. I've used some soap in a dispenser. I've got a towel hanging on my gadget, 3 strong poles, tripod lashing, and I've got a washing bowl. So those are the things you need, and the only basic skills required for this is to know how to do tripod lashing. So you need to know some knotting. And obviously if you're a good camper, you should have done this before. So that was my idea. So if you could do the same sort of thing, rough out your design, and then if you've got the equipment at home, actually have a go at making it. That would be fabulous. And then I look forward to seeing your designs later. And if we have time, it might be fun to challenge some of your friends in the unit to just make what you've made. So if you decided to make a safe and hygienic hand washing station, say these are the items you can use, design one quickly and see whether their design is exactly the same as yours or completely different. Okay, this is quite a fun one, designing and making. Look forward to seeing what you come up with, and we could be using it at camp in the future. Thanks very much. Bye.